Hi everyone, Daria is here from Startup Booster, and today we're meeting Jonathan. Hi
Hi,
Jonathan.
how's it going? You okay?
Perfect, perfect. So, as we know all that the journey of the entrepreneur is a long way and it has lots of interesting moments and some learning points as well. And today Jonathan is gonna share his story with us, which I find like really interesting and fascinating how he coped to grow his company in less than 2 years. But first of all, let's start from the scratch. So, can you tell us a little bit more about your company and how you started and why you started?
Business Rocks is it's an international tech music. Business Rocks is it's an international tech music and investment summit. Basically, I just looked at the market and I just thought that a lot of tech summits and business conferences were just really dull and boring, and that they've had the day. So I thought that I wanted to disrupt the market and give people what I thought that they would need. Just some mixing business, technology, applications, and investment with my love for music. And I just think that entrepreneurs like to have fun these days.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. So that was the great pitch. And what would be like the most the point that differs you from other summits in that sphere for the startups? How startups can be benefiting from visiting your conference in summit?
Yeah, I think there's a how could a startup benefit from visiting our conference? Number one, they could enter the pitch battle and win £50,000. I think that's a pretty good reason to start with. Number two, they'll meet some of the best investors on the earth. We've got investors coming from Passion Capital, MMC Ventures, Balderton Capital, GP Bullhound, Zeus. The list is pretty much endless. We've got a lot of investors coming, so they'll meet the best investors. They can win £50,000 in the pitch battle. They'll go out on 3 nights of amazing after parties where that's where the best networking is done. It's not on all the startups or on the stands or listening to the keynote talks. It's in the bars afterwards where people are more relaxed and listening to music, and that's where the magic. It's in the bars afterwards where people are more relaxed and listening to music, and that's where the magic happens. That's where you can raise more money. That's where you can get yourself a new career, or that's where your startup can merge and acquire another business. Anything can happen.
Yeah, that's perfect. So, and as a startup, as we all know, like when you start from scratch. And how did you manage to get those venture capitalists and angel investors on board?
I worked extremely hard, harder than most people have ever worked in the last 2 years, from 8 a.m. till midnight for 2 years. Started out on my own with nothing, with just a crazy idea and my laptop. And I've spoke to thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people. I've flown to Vegas, I've flown to Dublin, I've been to London countless times. I've been all over the country. I've met every VC. I've met everybody. I've met councils, governments. I've met everybody, and I've done it self-finance for the majority of the time as well. So it's been the hardest thing I've ever done, but it's just all starting to come together now and pay off. And we've got some of the biggest brands on the planet involved. So it's been great.
Oh,
Inspire. You
that's
got to inspire.
brilliant.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. So we see here that one of the most important points is to network, network, network. Not only like offline, but also digitally. So you probably were using like LinkedIn or something else for this type of networking before you get in touch with the people.
Yeah, I suppose LinkedIn's a good one, but I think the number one business development tool on the planet's got to be Twitter. You can be on your couch drinking red wine at 10:30 at night on a Saturday night, and you get a spare 5 minutes, and you can just tweet the sales director from Microsoft in America, or you can retweet Elon Musk content, or tweet to Steve Wozniak. You can reach anybody within a split second, right to their pocket in their, whether they're at a VIP party or whether they're in, I don't know, anywhere on the planet. You can literally reach them into their pocket with whatever you're talking about instantly, which is just the opportunities that presents if you've got the right idea and the passion to see things through, and the balls. You can get to anyone and inspire anyone to do anything.
Oh, you're so right here, and I do agree that Twitter is really like growing massively, and I think it has a lot more potential to get in touch directly with the people you want to meet and to arrange something offline than the Facebook, because probably Twitter is like, really more of a social type of rather than a professional type of a network here.
I think that while I was saying about Twitter being the best business development tool, what I meant by that was in a personal context. If you're personally trying to go after someone or go after demographics, but there is other social tools like Facebook from a strategic point of view. If you're paying for Facebook ads or Twitter ads or LinkedIn ads, then that's a different proposition. I'm talking about doing it from startup in the hardest possible way, doing it manually yourself and building up 5,000 followers on Twitter and really going for it and thinking about that content yourself and really going after that market and getting under the skin of your market. I don't think there's a better tool than Twitter to do it for free, especially when startups are underfunded and they've not got the resources that a big corporate has to spend 20 grand a month on Twitter advertising and Facebook advertising. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go back to the to your company. So there's always we have a tradition to talk about the thing that was the best success till now for you, and the thing that was the best learning point for you till now. What can you share as the kind of inspiration for other people who are watching us in terms of their startups? What would be the best learning point for you, and what was the most success till now?
The biggest success has got to be securing the co-founder of Apple, Steve Wozniak, to come and speak. You can't just offer him money to come and speak and he just speaks at anything. You have to inspire him by what you're doing. And when we sent over the proposal to him, it was all about entrepreneurship, startup acceleration, inspiring the next generation of tech entrepreneurs, charity, and then bringing music into that as well and tech innovation. So quite a proud moment when the co-founder of the most iconic software business ever to grace the planet is inspired by what you're doing. That is probably one of the proudest moments I've got in business, and it was hard to get to that point, and that was a game-changing point in my life and my career. I think where have I learned the most in the last 2 years? Because bearing in mind I had a technology recruitment business for 10 years prior to this. Since I've been doing the tech event over the last 2 years, the Tech and Investment Summit, I think the point where I've learned the most has been raising the money, raising the investment to make the event happen, meeting the different investors and getting messed about and learning a lot about yourself, learning a lot about your business. Raising money is not easy. It's hard, but it's been a fantastic experience. I was speaking at Old Trafford Cricket Ground on Friday to 100 MBA business students for Manchester Business School, and one of the after I'd finished the keynote, one of the guys said in the questions, if you lost everything now, you're talking about success, you're talking about failures. If everything, the opportunities you're talking about just disappeared, what would you do? I said, I'm not bothered, don't care. I said, I know from what I've learned over the last 12 years that I'd be absolutely buzzing. I'd be excited. I'd wake up in the morning and be like, right, come on, what's next? Because I know how to raise money. I know how to put teams together. I know that it's one of the best times ever at the minute with all the startup accelerators, with all the support systems that different governments and different cities are investing in. There's accelerators popping up all over Europe, all over the world, and there's such a supportive network there that will help you. And one guy said to me, what if you want to be an entrepreneur but you've not got an idea? I said, just start going to the startup group, start going to the network and listen to all these amazing speakers that are pouring into the cities to tell you the secrets and inspire you, and just start talking to the people that are at these groups. Have a couple of beers with them, have some slices of pizza, and it might just be that there's two co-founders there and you just say one little thing and suddenly you're a co-founder with them. You know what I mean? It's an exciting time to be an entrepreneur, I think, at the minute.
That's brilliant. I totally agree with you because there are so many people around with the brilliant ideas, and the most important here point is the execution, because the idea could millions and millions, and if you don't know how to execute it right, there might be also like a big problem for you. And so that's really cool what you've shared. And what would you advise to the entrepreneurs as the starting point? What kind of skills they need, or where to start with if they have an idea, how to start executing it to get some results?
How to start executing it? I suppose it depends what your idea is, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like, what do they need to know most, like sales or marketing or network or how to build a team or where to go to start from?
It depends on the product and it depends on who you are, because obviously I'm obviously leaning towards tech with every answer because I love tech. So that's where my answers will lean from. I suppose it depends. Are you the techie, or are you the salesperson, or are you the marketing, or if in the context of what I've done for the last 2 years, I've pretty much I've done everything from designing the flyers in Illustrator to flying to Web Summit to go and fly at the conference because they're our competitor, to doing the VC pitches, to scaling the team, inspiring everyone, doing the sales calls. You have to do everything. You have to be prepared to do everything in a startup environment. You have to be prepared to work harder than everybody else. You have to be prepared to push yourself mentally through barriers that other people are not prepared to do that. And you got to remember that if you're not going to do that, there is somebody sat in a different city with the same idea, and they will push themselves through that boundary because they want it more than you. So you have to want it more than anybody else. You have to be prepared to absolutely smash it and run through walls, basically. And also you have to be prepared to surround yourself with positive people and not listen to people that, especially if you're disrupting a market like I have, half the people that you meet are going to tell you that it can't be done because people are naysayers and they're negative, and most people are not cut out to be entrepreneurs. So they're going to tell you, this is a crazy idea, this is never going to work, this has never been done before, I'm not investing in that, I'm not sponsoring that, I'm not doing that. But you've got to put yourself out there. You've got to believe in your own hype, and you've got to believe in your ideas, and you're not going to be drowned out by people that are telling you it can't be done. Even some family members will tell you it can't be done and it's too risky. But you've got to believe in what you're doing and back yourself and work yourself into the ground until it happens, basically.
Yeah, that's super. Um, so far I know that currently you're not alone anymore in your
No,
team.
I've got
How
to
many people do you have?
maybe 10, maybe more. We've got a team, and then we've got a wider team of people that are involved. So we've got more than we've got. It depends, We've got I've got 6 people who are comparing each of the different stages. So even though they're not employed by us on a day-to-day basis, they're still in London on Monday or Edinburgh, and they're still constantly getting the message out about what we're doing and going to Silicon Valley and telling people. So we have a lot of people that are inspired and they want to make this project work. So wider team, a lot of people. You've got one thing I said to that one of the last questions on Friday was if because I talk about my daughter in my presentation and stuff, and they said if you could give your daughter or us one tip about being an entrepreneur, what would that be? And I said, be true to your word. If you say you're going to do something, if you say you're going to ring someone at 12 o'clock, do it. If you say you're going to do something, don't ever go back on your word, because you're only as good as your word. And if you haven't got your word and you haven't got your ethics, you ain't got nothing. So you're going to get a bad name in the industry. So that's one thing that I always live by.
So your brand and your word are the most important, especially when you're startup. I totally agree with that.
All the time.
Yeah. So another question, like, as you have so many people right now, how do you feel about managing and motivating them? What would be the best tip for other people who have growing teams?
Keep to motivate your team. Be passionate about what you're doing. Believe in what you're doing. Lead from the front. Keep innovating. Keep things fresh. Make sure everyone's bought into the vision and on the same page. And just do things differently. Have fun in what you're doing. If you don't have fun in what you're doing, get out of there. Change your life. change your industry. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, I don't see what I'm doing as work, even though I'm working really, really hard sometimes till midnight, and it's the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I absolutely love it. I love the pressure, and I love what I'm doing, and it's the vision that I want to achieve. So I'd say you need to love what you're doing, and if you don't, take a look at what you're doing in your life and change it, because you can anyone can change the direction that they're going to do something that they love. And if you're doing something that you love, you're going to be passionate about it, so you're going to achieve greater things than if you're just banging your head against a brick wall in a company that's not where you should be. And if you're not happy, I'd say get out.
Okay, that's super. That's super. And as you've given a lot of advice already, what would be maybe one more advice for people who want to start their own business?
Advice to start your own business. I've said pick something that you love. I've said follow your passion.
Any words? Anything else?
I'll give you my tips before you ask the question. Advice for starting a business: constantly make every second count. I.e., if you've got a spare 30 seconds, or if you're stuck if you're stuck on a bus or in a taxi in a traffic jam, use Twitter. Get on Twitter, reach out to new clients and new markets, and build those relationships on Twitter by following the key influencers in your industry and retweeting their content and liking their content to build that engagement. Really get under the skin of your market and to a ridiculous deep level. Know what the future trends that are coming in your market, and get deep under the skin. Because if you're not immersed in your market, you're not going to reach the full potential where the competition will be, because they're living and breathing every day, and if you're just playing at it, you're never going to crack it.
That's brilliant. So, and to summarize that all, I would like to add from my side that the best resource that you have, the most valuable resource that you have, is your time. And like Jonathon said already, use every second to promote your business, to develop it, and to keep on growing. Even if you are in the traffic jam, use your Twitter and keep on growing your business through social media, email, and so on. So thank you very much, Jonathon, for your time and great advice and all the passion that you shared with the entrepreneurs. And we keep in touch, and I wish you best of luck on behalf of the Startup Booster in your venture.
I hope to see you all at the event. Tickets are on sale now. business-rocks.com. Take it easy.
Super.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye.